Welcome to 2 cents short of a dollar, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We're your hosts. That's Motiz. I'm Rue. And today, what I want to talk about is Saul Canelo Alvarez. His name has been in the news a lot lately with various different possible opponents. Most recently today, I think we saw Badu Jack says he's done. He's not looking for the fight. He told Canelo, go ahead and fight David Benavidez. But that is not the rumor of who's next for Canelo. We've been hearing Charlo, so I just want to hear what are your thoughts on the possible Canelo Charlo matchup and all the other ones that look like they're going to fall through.
Right. Before I actually get into the Charlo, just going into what Badu Jack, the fact that Canelo even was looking to fight Badu Jack, which I believe to be over 40 years old at this point in his career, and he did mention a critical piece of information, which is he tried to had Badu Jack come down 20 pounds lower and have a rehydration clause. Typical Canelo, right? Trying to weight drain opponents, try to get the extreme advantage over the opponents at this time. And it's like, why are you looking over at Badu Jack? You know that's not a fight that is gonna, elevate you in your career. At this point, it looks like you're just trying to just take whatever fight you can and go from and just either retire taking easy fights, or he's clearly avoiding the tough fights. Now, when it comes to Charlo specifically, right, and I'm glad that Badu Jack did call him out and told him, yo, just go fight Benavidez. That's what all the fans want. But when it comes to fighting Charlo, I do think Canelo's definitely going to look at Charlo as the second option, because Charlo has not fought in pushing 3 years now?
Yeah.
For 3 years now. And Charlo mentally, he's been on a different podcast, and he's also kind of, addressed some of the mental health concerns that he's undergone, especially with issues with his ex-wife, I guess, or ex-girlfriend. Confirm that for me if it's his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. Not that it necessarily matters in the grand scheme of things in terms of titles, but I guess issues with having custody over his kids and a lot of issues that's surrounding him. I don't know what's going on with these boxers. I guess having issues with their ex-wives or ex-girlfriends. It goes to show, if your home is not intact, it can really wane on you, which is crazy. But nevertheless, I think that this is probably Canelo's best chance to tackle a wounded lion, right? In Charlo.
Nice pun.
Right. And I think that he needs to kind of, if I was Canelo, I would go after Benavidez. But clearly he's ducking Benavidez, and it looks like Charlo might be the next best option for him.
So when you say if you were him, you would go after Benavidez, why would you go after Benavidez? Is it because, like you would get the most glory from that win, or is it because you feel like that's the easiest victory?
So I think it's three. There are three elements there. One, it's the most money at this time, right? Especially with what they offered him, which I believe was 50 mil guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how accurate that is, and that's only come from one source, but they did send him a contract, right? But nevertheless, overall, it's going to generate the most money. One. Two, glory, as you mentioned, right? His legacy is going to show that, you went in and you took those tough fights, right? The toughest fight that you've taken that people were not sure that you can probably get over that hill was Gennady Golovkin. That's it, right? People may say Mayweather, but Canelo's the underdog going into that fight.
Yeah.
Triple G, Canelo was like the rising star. People was like, yo, you at the top, but is this other guy here? You got to show us you top dog, so glory.
Yeah.
And I think three is more so probably an internal thing. And I think it's more so for me. And it kind of relates to the glory aspect. It's more so to challenge yourself, right? To prove that you are the best, right? To prove to yourself that you could potentially beat this guy. Because if you do beat Benavidez, I think his legacy is going to be cemented even further, right? So it falls kind of into the glory aspect, but it's more so, I would say, intrinsic as opposed to extrinsic, right? Because the glory part is more for the fans, what the fans want. Whereas for him, it's like, this is something that you should want, right? But I think that the most important part is glory from a extrinsic point of view for the fans. This is what the fans want. And two, it's going to generate the most money. You lose, you still get an abundant amount of money, especially if you go in there and you fight your heart out. So
Yeah. So I know. So let's start with Badu Jack, right? Badu Jack did beat Mukabu at cruiserweight, who Canelo previously was going to fight at cruiserweight for the title, right? Before he got the Bivol fight. So I would assume that's how Badu Jack got into this, because Canelo was going to fight the guy who Badu Jack ended up, beating, right? But I'm glad that fight's off the table, because the whole cruiserweight stuff doesn't really make much sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But now let's go back down to 168. David Benavidez is the best guy at 168, right? Other than Canelo, right? I'm saying, like, he has to be the most established. I know Canelo's big on what have you accomplished, right? David Benavidez is a two-time champion at 168. So I would think he's the most established guy at 168. Jermall Charlo's never fought at 168. Do you know what I'm saying? And as Canelo was saying, oh, what have you guys accomplished? Jermall, nothing at 168, because he's never fought there. So I would think David Benavidez would be the fight to make, and he's the WBC mandatory as well. But like you said, Charlo's been out the ring for a while now, but he still has a name. If he beats Charlo, it's going to be like, okay, yeah, he beat Charlo. Charlo wanted to fight him for all those years. But like you said, what Charlo are you actually beating, right? I just seen him going back and forth with Demetrius Andrade, and I don't want to disrespect Charlo, but he didn't look completely all there, like focused in on boxing. There were several times when Andre said, "Okay, let's make the fight," and Charlo was like, "Yeah, let's make the fight." Nah, you don't want to fight me. Why would you want to fight me? You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem as adamant about making the fight as Demetrius Andre did, which leads me to believe there's just some personal things going on, with Charlo. Now, will he jump on this Canelo fight? I'm sure, because it's going to be a big payday, right?
right.
But Canelo really doesn't want to fight David Benavidez, which is shocking to me, because I'm always of the notion that boxers really aren't scared of boxers. It's just, they might be scared of, like, let's say, losing their O or something like that. But I don't think they're like really scared of boxers in a physical sense. There's some exceptions to that, like a Deontay Wilder or Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like Canelo's moving like he's really fearful of David Benavidez, and that's kind of shocking to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like he's like, the thing this guy may be able to do to me, I don't even want to put myself in that situation. And I can't lie, I'm shocked by that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
my last point, I'm gonna let you go. The money standpoint, I would assume the money's gonna be the same to fight Charlo, because I think it's PBC that's cutting the check no matter what. You
You
know what I'm
think so? I think it will be more with Benavidez. I think
saying?
so.
I
What I'm
think,
saying is,
yeah.
you got two funnels of funds coming in. You got the guarantee, and then you got the pay per view, right? I think if you coop them together, I'm pretty sure Benavidez and Canelo will generate way more than.
I think the pay per view would do better, yeah. But I think that the 50 million guaranteed is just what it's gonna be to book Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And I think PBC is cutting that check no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do think a Benavidez pay per view would do better than a Charlo pay per view right now.
Yeah.
But
No, those are good points, man. And to your point in terms of like the fear aspect, yeah. At this point, I don't care what Canelo fanboys say. This is like literally the epitome of fear of a boxer literally ducking another boxer for multiple years. I can't even remember the last time I've seen a fighter duck another fighter to this extent. I can't even remember it.
yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. Like I said, because I'm gonna repeat, I'm usually of the notion I don't think boxers are fearful of boxers, but I just can't find, if he's gonna fight Charlo, I just can't find any excuse for him not to fight Benavidez. You know what I mean? And
But we know why he's fighting Charlo though.
right. And and he says he wants to fight Bivol. I know Bivol said they're not gonna have a rematch because Canelo's tripping. Essentially, Bivol didn't use the word tripping, but he said it can't be the same terms as last time. You know what I'm saying? He's like, things have to change.
Right.
But if he really wants to force Bivol's hand, I would say Canelo, step up after Beterbiev's next fight, activate the mandatory. I think Beterbiev has the WBO. Maybe activate the mandatory on the WBO, beat Beterbiev, and then you'll have the three belt and force Bivol to fight you for undisputed at 175.
Absolutely.
If you want to fight at 175, enforce the mandatory, move up. You right now you're undisputed. Enforce the mandatory on Artur Beterbiev, knock Artur Beterbiev off, and challenge Dmitry Bivol. Easier
Right.
said than done.
Of course, absolutely. Canelo, and I'm sure his camp probably factored that in, but they're like, Arthur, no, we're not going down that route.
Yeah,
Like, we're not going down that route. He said he gonna end you today. Like, yo.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. There was an interview. It was an old interview. Artur Beterbiev's name is the only person I've ever seen that I think made David Benavidez pause. Like when they asked him, like, "Yo, what you think about this fight?" He was like, "Yeah, that'd be a hard one." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dangerous. Like he's like a more dangerous version of fucking Triple G, bro. Like he's like I don't know. Like he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
You fight him, your faculties, you're gonna probably lose something in the process. He's
yeah.
a very dangerous fighter. You
So
know,
yeah. So I think we're in agreement, right? So Benavidez would be the fight that we want to see Canelo take,
right?
but I've heard these rumors already. I mean, I've heard these rumors some. How would you feel about another guy who's in Charlo's stable, Morell versus Canelo?
I wouldn't be interested in that fight.
Okay.
Morell's team already declined to fight Benavidez. They said it's too early.
But
So, you know, so
the,
that's kind of out the question. They would take a Canelo fight because of the payday, obviously. But as a fan, I just wouldn't be content with that. I just wouldn't be interested.
okay. The Morell Benavidez rumors are back on. I'm hearing that's next.
Oh,
'Cause
they said they declined the contract. Benavidez's father said it.
but but
So
since then I've heard they've been back talking because it doesn't look like the Benavidez Canelo's happening, and him and Morell I heard is what's back on and what's gonna be next.
okay. So I guess they're back to renegotiate. I don't know what. I
Yeah,
guess they had a change of heart probably. So at least that's something to keep Benavidez busy. Even though I know Benavidez is going to knock Morell out. Not knock him out physically, but I'm just saying knock him off the board. He may
yeah.
stop, but just knock him off the board. Benavidez should win that fight, to be honest. But man, we'll see. We'll see, man. Canelo need to put his big pants boy on. What am I
Big boy
saying?
pants.
His big boy pants.
Yeah,
See, he ducking so hard, he got me stumbling on my words and all
yeah.
that. Like,
Well,
I'm fed up at this point, honestly. I'm just like, Canelo, do what you got to do. I mean, at the
I
end of the day, you're your own man, but a spade is a spade.
I feel that. I feel that. I would say, I definitely want to hear from our supporters. Who do you want to see Canelo fight next? What do you think is going on with Benavidez? Is it a duck? Does he have a legitimate reason? Is Charlo more accomplished than Benavidez? Could definitely drop those comments, likes, subscribe. We're also gonna tag the Instagram here because the engagement's been down some, so maybe it'll be easier to engage on the Instagram as well. So just looking to hear from you guys so we can respond and just have these, intelligent boxing conversations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.